The workshop today it's about how to systematically achieve our research and study goals and stop procrastinating. So everything I'm going to talk about today, I'm using in my everyday life. I studied it for a couple of years already, and it helps me to, let's say, do more and to waste my time less in just everyday life, like today, yesterday, and all the time. So it will be pretty simple things. I will try to talk about them in kind of a funny manner, but they are very useful. So also the screen is recording. I think I telling it the fourth time in a row. So I will send you the recording after that. So small outline of our talk today. So first we will consider why do we procrastinate? What are the reasons for that? We will consider two thinking models. One will be more funny model, second will be more scientific one. And also we will consider brain bandwidth. It's amount of information that our neocortex, our logical brain can process in 1 second. And after that, we will consider how to choose your goals and how to formulate your tasks. It is crucially, it's very important. How do you formulate your tasks for your brain? Because if your brain doesn't understand what exactly you need to do, you will just start procrastinating, really. Like if you don't know what to do, your brain will find something that it knows how to do. So after that, we'll consider difference between goals, tasks, and habits, talk about habits and how to formulate them. Just a few words about me. If somebody doesn't know me, I'm a PhD student in University of Haifa in Department of Marine Geosciences. My name is Ernest. And yes, my name is Ernest. I work in several projects right now simultaneously in the university and also writing my PhD thesis, writing some papers, and like I think that I'm going in kind of high productive way in my studies. Also, I ran 4 marathons and tens of half marathons. I organized climbing to Mount Elbrus. It's almost like 5.5 kilometers, and here is me. So we organized it, we prepared, we did a proper training, and our group successfully climbed the summit. And talking about the goals, and I consider all like goals in academia, like writing your master thesis, writing PhD proposal, writing PhD thesis, writing a paper, or doing any research. It is kind of a serious goal, and it's more about marathon than a sprint. You can't write a paper in like 1 month. Sometimes it takes you more than 1 year. Sometimes it can take you more than a couple of years. Like from the moment that you start preparing for this research and till the end the paper is published, it can take you like several years. And the tricky thing is that all goals and habits, they require significant time and significant effort. And before you finish, you actually don't know how much really time and effort in advance is needed. So if you are unable, if you don't know how to play a long game, then you will highly likely to fail. And like you can start, but if you cannot systematically manage your energy, you will either quit because you will get bored of it, or you will have some distractions will Sorry? Or you will just burn out and you will have no energy to go further. So the solution is to move slowly in comfortable pace, but do it consistently. So now let's talk about how to do this. And let's talk about why do we procrastinate. So almost always when between an important task and an urgent task, our brain tends to choose the clear one. And if neither urgent or important tasks are clear to our brain, then it easily finds something clear somewhere else. And usually something clear is open your Facebook tab and just read some posts, check some emails, or I don't know, watch some YouTube videos or something else, something that is clearly to our brain how to do. And even Plato and Aristotle, like 2000 years ago, even more, they noticed that for some reason people do not always act in the best way for them, even though they know how to do this. And let us move to the first model of our thinking. This is the model of Tim Urban. And Tim Urban has a blog, waitbutwhy.com, and there is a lot of additional material. So somebody who is interested, you're welcome to read it. And let's consider our head. And in the head, we have a human control lever. When it's in the right position, then we do something. When it's in the left position, then we don't do something. And because all we are here rational people, we are like students in universities, then we have a rational decision maker that lives in our brain. And he always does things that make sense, like he knows how to do long-term thinking, he thinks about strategy, about rational decisions, he knows about past, present, and future, and he knows that if you don't prepare for your exam, then like you can have problems. If you don't write your proposal, then you may not have your scholarship anymore, or if you, I don't know, like if you don't write enough papers during your PhD studies, then you may not finish even it. He knows all of it, and he knows exactly what we should do and how we should do. But it turns out that besides rational decision maker, we have another character, which is an instant gratification monkey. And this instant gratification monkey, she likes fast-paced, interesting, funny, and impulsive desires. She lives only here and now. She doesn't know anything about future, anything about what happens even a couple of hours after right now. She doesn't have sense of time at all, and she lives by laws of animal world. What do I mean by laws of the animal world? Is if you have any shelter, if you have enough food, if you have enough water, if no predators are near, and if you're like kind of in animal safety, then she's fine. She doesn't think that you need to do anything else, which is important, and she wants to do only fast-paced, interesting, and funny and impulsive desires. When I talk to my friends about it, it came to my mind, like if you have cats or dogs at home, then this is exactly this character. In your cats and dogs, they don't have rational decision maker, they have only this monkey. So if dog or cat, they ate enough food, they have drunk enough water, and they have shelter, and they have no treats, so they just sleep, they play, and they do nothing. Like they don't think about strategy, about like where to take food next week. They don't think about it. And the key thing is that monkey is driving us almost all the time. Like if we talk about numbers, it's like 95% of time, maybe even more. And the only one character who monkey is afraid of is the panic monster. The panic monster comes shortly before the deadline, just like a couple of days before the exam, usually just one night before the exam, or a couple of days before the deadline. Also, like, I don't know, I have conference in tomorrow, let's start making the presentation. And if there is a treat to life or to social failures, we are social animals, and social failures is kind of a treat to our life, because when we like lived in tribes many thousand years ago, then if you live in a tribe, then you will most probably stay alive. And if you stay alone, then you will most probably be killed by, I don't know, a tiger, wolves, or somebody else. So social failures, like not to pass your exam, is for our subconscious, it's the same as to die, more or less. So panic monster comes, both rational decision maker and monkey, they get scared, and monkey runs away. She said, oh, this is not my business, I don't know how to do this. And she gives the wheel to our rational decision maker, who tries to do everything he can. And when you do this, you, like, from my experience, I had this many times, like tens of times, maybe even hundreds of times. Couple of days before the deadline, I'm totally focused. I don't want to turn on YouTube, Facebook, anything else. I just do what I need to do. And fortunately, like always, I give myself promises that I will start preparing in advance next time. But as soon as Panic Monster leaves, we promise ourselves that next time we definitely start in advance. But then, like, who comes? This monkey comes, and she asks, like, oh, he's gone already. And we suggest our monkey, we suggest ourselves that, like, this is exactly a moment to start preparing. Like, we prepared for one exam, we have 2 weeks to next exam, let's start right now. Or like, we have a couple of months before the deadline of the proposal, let's write it, let's start doing it today. But monkey listens to us, says like, yes, but no. Maybe we can watch some YouTube first, just for 5 minutes, or we can watch just one series in Netflix, or also news, like, you know, that this coronavirus, it's very important things happening every time. Let's just open the news and watch them. And like, as soon as the panic passes, everything returns to normal, and we keep on acting in the old way. And it turns out that it's normal and natural to all the people. So now I will ask you a question on the next slide, and I will ask you to write the answer to the chat like as fast as possible. Like, I'm showing you the slide, and the first idea, the first answer that comes to your head, please write it in the comments.
Where's the chat? I'm kidding.
You can
no,
can
I got it.
on.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can turn on the chat. So just a second. It's like here. I just sent them. So the question is, the bat and ball cost $1.10. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? The first thing, don't think much. Okay, 10 cents, 5 cents. So, okay, 10 cents.
Oh, shit. Shit.
Yeah, so like, so the ball costs 5 cents, and like Moshe answered right, and Akash and Karen wrote 10 cents. The thing that I heard about this problem many times, and still my subconscious first gives me 10 cents every time. And only after that, like, and so it's 5 cents, but because our subconscious, I will show you the model, how it works, why she gives us like 10 cents all the time. And the thing is that there was a study, like 233 students in MIT, Harvard, and Princeton, like it's high-level universities. They have been put through this quiz. There were 3 questions. One question is about this ball, and there are 2 other questions. And just a second. And so even in MIT, Harvard, and Princeton, like it turned out that 50% respond incorrect when they should write it fast. Also, there is like a table. We will not spend much time on it, but it's like there were 3 questions. So it's question now. This is question about the bell and ball, the bat and ball, and there are 2 other questions. And these are the universities. It's MIT, Princeton, Boston, 5 works display. So it's just like average randomly people like the Harvard, the University of Michigan. And it turns out that like only like 17% of people answered all 3 questions correctly. On the first question, like this bell and ball, this bat and ball, only 28% of people answered correctly. So now let's talk about why it happens and what to do about it. We go to thinking model of Daniel Kahneman. Now, like the first model, monkey, this rational decision maker, it's kind of a funny model, but it goes deeply into the ancient Indian like philosophy. It's like 3,000 years old, like when this was suggested. So Daniel Kahneman is Israeli-American psychologist and economist, and he was awarded a Nobel Memorial Prize in economic sciences. Nobel Memorial Prize is the same as Nobel Prize, like it's the same committee is giving this award. So it's the only Nobel Prize in economics that exists, and his empirical findings challenge the assumption of human rationality. And before his studies in macroeconomics, human was considered as rational man, like that he does only things that are good for him. And we don't do crazy things. We don't do things that are not good for us. And he showed in his studies, like he made tens of studies, starting in 70s and like till nowadays. And he showed that what we do is like this monkey makes decisions when we want to buy something. Like we see the ad in the internet, we see a post or we see a car or something else, and this monkey makes a decisions that I want this thing. And usually this rational decision maker, because he is like at the wheel just 5% of time, he has nothing to do than to make excuses and find reasons why we actually need it. So like it happens with monkey first. He wrote a book, Thinking Fast and Slow. I recommend this book. It's kind of, it's pretty easy to read it. It's like written in, like you don't need to be a psychologist or a neuroscientist to read it. So I really recommend it. So the model of our brain. This is our brain. Here we have some input. By input, I mean all the information that comes into our brain. Like right now you see the screen, you hear some noise. Also, I touch my hands and like from all the senses I have, I get information that comes into my brain. And this input information, it goes first to system number 1. It's fast system. So it's in Kahneman book, it has a name as system number 1. And if we compare it to our previous model, then this is monkey. So first of all, information comes to the monkey. And monkey, system number 1, is fast thinking. It's our intuition and instincts. It is unconscious, it's fast, it's associative, it's automatic pilot, and we cannot turn it off even if we want it. So it's not under our control to turn it off. It works all the time and it processes enormous amount of information every second. After that, after the information came through the monkey and she made her decision, information comes to system number 2. It's clever system. It's thing that happened to Akos when he wrote first like 10 cents. So information comes to the monkey. And after that, because our rational system it takes a lot of effort. Like there are studies that show that our brain consumes from 25 to 40% of all the calories that our body consumes. So like all the energy that your body, all your muscles need, it's like 60%, and your brain consumes almost half of the energy. So it's very, very energy consuming, and it takes a lot of effort to think. Also, this system is very slow. That's why it took, you have a question? You should unmute you
Yes,
first.
can I?
Yes, I listen.
Okay, my question is that is it something that evolutionary developed like that, to have this fast response to react fast to some
Uh,
sort of situations, or?
yes, of course. Like if we go to there is a model. I will try to look for it right now. So there is a theory, three brains, reptile. It's triune brain. It's like so I will. Okay, I will explain you in just without any extra information. So, uh, how our nervous system works? Like we have our spinal brain that controls all our organs. It controls our muscles and all these things. And spinal brain is the oldest one, because like the theory of evolution says that they were first like very simple organisms. After that, there became like fish and reptiles. From fish and reptiles, from reptiles, like they evolutioned to birds and mammals evolution to primates like monkeys, and monkeys evolution to human. So like this evolution process, it took enormous amount of time. And this fast system, it's limbic system. It's also mammals have this system. Uh, and limbic system, it's about feelings, it's about desires, it's about emotions and these things. And also we have this reptile brain, which is, it's purely instincts. It's like uh, once in Haifa, I was running in the forest and I met two wild hogs, like these wild pigs, and they had kids and they started to run to chase me. And I was so scared that like even this fast system, like it turned off. Like there was no monkey, no rational decision maker. I didn't control myself at all. I was just running. Like I remember this thing that I didn't even feel anything. So I wasn't even scared. I became scared after I ran like from them. So it's like pure evolution. Like it started with reptiles and its instincts. After that, it developed into mammals who has some feelings. Also, if you take a look at, I don't know, let's say spiders and reptiles, some lizards, they don't have feelings. They
Mhm.
have pure instincts. But mammals like cats, dogs, cows, bears, they have emotions. It's like pretty simple emotions. I think they have, based on some studies, like 7 basic emotions, say 7 basic feelings, but they have them. And our neocortex, like our this how it's called, the gray brain, or I don't know. So neocortex, which is logical thinking, it's pretty new, it's pretty young, and it's just like 100,000 years old. And if you consider evolution, like the first hierarchies, like between species, like they're like 300 million years ago. Like even lobsters have their hierarchies, like they have a boss and other like, and these hierarchies are like 300 million years old. So it's like very old. And our neocortex, it's like a child. So it's, and also it's very big. Like it's kind of a very complex system. Like with unconscious brain, it doesn't take any effort, because like all these instincts are pretty simple. Like you touch something hot, you just pull your hand, and that's all. It's also based on
So
studies. the chain, neurons chain that human scared of snakes is just 2 neurons long. So it's like you see snake, you run. That's all how it happens.
Um,
Yes.
just a really quick question. So if I understand it correctly, this is our, let's say, basic program that is running in our brain. And if we want to stop this procrastinating processes, because we see that system 2 requires a lot of fuel and thinking. So we have to take an effort to change from system 1 to system 2 intentionally, right?
Yes, I will. I have it here in like the one slide after the next one. So
Okay, okay.
I will show you. So our system number 2 is takes effort. It's slow, logical. It's lazy, and it's very indecisive. Like it's because it takes a lot of effort. She always thinks like, do I need to turn on or not? And when, let's say, we considered question about bat and ball, then like the answer 10 cents is good enough for this rational decision maker not to turn on, like not to start all this thinking. He says that, okay, like 10 cents seems like logical. Let's like say yes, like he gives green light, and then this energy, this information outputs as your answer. So also there is such thing as thinking fuel. It's not a scientific term. I read it in this book of like Jedi techniques. It's just fuel that's our brain requires, and you can. I think you saw it many times that, let's say, there is a class and it's a boring class and you're out of your like mental energy and you're trying to listen but you don't really understand what's going on the class, and also you can't remember it because like you're trying to remember it, but after the class you don't remember almost anything because this thinking fuel, it's also connected to our short-term memory. And so both system number 2, which is our rational thinking, and short-term memory, they connected to this thinking fuel. And there are some studies also, like it depends on how you are used to use your brain, if you do any exercises for your brain. So it really depends, but average data is that you have thinking fuel for about 1.5 hours of work, and after that you're out of it. So that's why also, like if you start your day with social media, then with your phone, then because there is a lot of emotions and our memory tries to remember all the emotional things because it thinks that it may be useful for our like survival, then it starts to use enormous amount of this thinking fuel in the morning, and when you actually start to work you don't have enough fuel like to think, and you can just do simple tasks like check your mail, check some news, go to Facebook, because like it doesn't require any fuel. And let's just also quickly go through our brain bandwidth. Brain bandwidth is amount of information that our brain can process in 1 second, let's say. And if we consider it as a pipe and the water flowing through the pipe, then bandwidth is how many milliliters or liters per second can pass through this pipe. And input from our senses like eyes, skin, hearing, smells, and tastes is estimated to be 11 millions of beats per second. And it's like pouring water from enormous, like big buckets of water. And all this information goes to system number 1, and our system number 2, our clever brain can process just from 50 to 120 bits per second. There are like different studies. It's one of the reasons why, like, let's say I have a notebook here, and if I try to read it like that, I see everything, like I see what is written here, but I can't read it all in 1 second because like my eyes see 10 billions, 10 millions of bits per second, but my really rational brain, which is like when we read, we use like this system number two. Like it can process just 50, 120 bits per second. That's why like I see the picture, I see the poster, let's say, or I see the book, but I can't read it in 1 second. And like average person reads about 300 words per minute. So this is exactly like from 50 to 120 bits per second. And this is one of the reasons like why, like if you, what I wanted to say, just a second. Well, there is next slide about it. So our system number two is like it's like dean of the university. It's like CEO of the company. Like system number two needs just to think, and system number one is employees who should do the actual work. And this monkey, it will easily get down to business and it will start doing the job if she knows what to do. It's the same as like if you just go to the university and you start your degree and you're absolutely new in your field and you start and you talk to your supervisor, like then really your supervisor is system number two and your system number one. And if he tells you some, I don't know, write a proposal and you have no idea what you need to do and you will not even start doing it because like you don't know what you should do. And what good supervisor should tell you, he should tell you, I don't know, here is one paper, read it. And when you read it, like, let's talk about it next week. And he gives you pretty simple task like read this exact paper or I don't know, find 3 papers from this review or something very, very simple. And this is what Akash was asking about. It's like a DAO of monkey and rational decision maker. Rational decision makers have to think and he need to state task in a form that is clear to the monkey. I will tell about it like just a couple of slides further. And monkey, everything she does is just the execution. Monkey doesn't know how to think logically. She doesn't have any logical thinking. Only this rational decision maker have logical thinking. And so we think and we do, we think and we do it separately. And there are 2 separate characters who do this. Also, because it is very, very energy consuming to think, then every time you will like think about actually thinking like, let's sit and write plan for tomorrow. Let's sit and write plan for the study. It is very energy consuming and like you will tend to procrastinate this, but there is no way to succeed in like in doing a lot of things rather than to think separately and do separately. Because if you say that, okay, I will write a plan tomorrow, you will not write a plan tomorrow. This monkey says that let's write it tomorrow. Let's do right now something else. And like you will never do this. And weeks, months can pass, and before you actually write something in a clear form to your brain, to your like system number one, only after that she will start doing something. And what we need to do, we need to learn how to talk to this monkey in language that it understands. Like, what language does she understand? No need to think during the execution process. Like, let's write a thesis, and she doesn't know what to do exactly. And let's check the email first. Maybe we have an important letter. But if you ask her to read just briefly this exact paper, I don't know, have a paper, some paper somewhere there. And let's just set on timer 25 minutes and let's just read it. And after 25 minutes, we will not continue reading it. We will just stop and we will think. And she says, okay, like 25 minutes, it's kind of easy. If 25 minutes is hard for this monkey, then you should decrease the load and do it, let's say 15 minutes. If 15 minutes is hard, then do 10 minutes. If 10 minutes is hard, do 5 minutes. So do something that you will feel it actually, like this monkey speaks like on the language of feelings, emotions, I want, I don't want, like I like it, I don't like it, like everything that is illogical and irrational, it's our monkey. And you will actually, you will feel it, like if you also considering like the workouts, if you say like let's do a workout and the monkey doesn't know what exactly exercises you should do, you will most probably, you will not even start doing it. And if you know which exercises you should do, let's say let's do 10 push-ups and 10 squats, and she will say okay, like 10 squats and 10 push-ups, it's pretty easy. So i didn't I didn't translate it from Russian, so it's Agile Life. It's the book, and there are and others books on Agile. So about the goals, how to formulate goals and tasks. About the goal should be specific, so it should be like 100% specific, like do more sports is vague and monkey will not do this. And let's say I have an app on my phone. The app has a name 7 minutes workouts, and I just do 7 minutes workouts every morning. I just take my phone, I turn on this. By the way, it's free app if you want to try, and you want to do some sport at home. So free 7 minutes app. All trainings are 7 minutes long. You don't need any other equipment rather than floor and probably a chair. And I used chair just once, so just you and your body. And I just turn it on, I don't think, and I just do it every morning. Also, the task, the goal should be towards yourself and not against yourself. Spending less time in social media networks, first, it's probably not even under your control because social networks, it's very strong addiction, and there are studies that it's the same as drug addiction. And if you drug addict, then it's very hard for you to control it. It's the same as I don't know, some people who are like chain sweetie eaters, they try not to eat sweets for a month, let's say, and it's really not under their control because like it's very hard. And what you should do, you should choose tasks, not tasks, I'm sorry, goals that are toward yourself. So let's say I want not spend less time on social media, I want to spend more time without my phone. And what I do, within 1 week, you make a small experiment. You turn on the silent mode and you put the phone in another room after 8 p.m. If you live in one room apartment, you can put your phone into your bag or into your, like anywhere which it will be hard to reach. So you just silent mode and put it into another room or into your bag. And also it should be in the sphere of your influence. So it should be under your control. And to get a postdoc, it's not under your control because you don't make a decision whether you will be taken or not. And also to find a new job, let's say, like it's not like you don't make this decision. And the decision is made by your supervisor or by your boss. So you should choose goals that are under your control. For example, create a new CV and send it to 10 universities. If you don't know these 10 universities, like then you should spend, let's say, 1 week and spend 3 times by 30 minutes searching for postdocs in the internet. Or you can write a letter to your colleagues, and you should get their email list first, and asking whether they know any postdocs or not. So you should choose things that have a question, let me know when I can ask. Okay, I will finish this slide and you can ask. So you should choose tasks and goals which are under your control. Yes, Akosh?
Yes, just go back. I want to go back to refer to the spend less time in social media networks. Um, if I can share my personal experience with that,
Sure.
is because monkey is smart, and my monkey always finds different tasks to not to do that. So if it's not social media, then I don't know. I just go and check the fridge, then I come back, then I don't know, start cleaning. No, that is not true, but something else. So what I found out in myself is that I asked myself, what's the reason why why I want to open the fridge and check something, or do something else. And then I realized that the problem is that I have something that I didn't solve yet,
Mm-hmm.
that is trying to tell me to not to do the actual work that should be done right now.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can get rid of that, I can release this. I can, drop this weight from my shoulder. Then it's much easier to not just much easier, like to tell the monkey to shut up. And then that's
Yep,
what I wanted to say.
I agree. Thank you for your experience, Akosh.
And I'm an alcoholist.
I also know that you're addicted to sweets,
Yes.
so that's fine. I will send you a present soon with sweets. Uh, Also about since you asked this question about the like that it's kind of you do something and your monkey wants to do something else. Let's go check the fridge or something. I don't know. Turn on the phone. I'm using a Pomodoro technique. Is I will explain you in just like briefly in a couple of words. You work 25 minutes and after that you make a 5-minute break. So let's say you want to write a paper or you want to read a paper, but you don't know how much time exactly you need to spend. It may take you like 15 minutes, it may take you 1 hour, you don't know, 2 hours, maybe a week, even if it's like a really big paper. Then for the monkey, read a full big research is very hard because she doesn't see where is the end of this task. And because she doesn't operate like with the future, she sees like, I don't know, everything that she can see is like, I think it's plus minus 30 minutes. And what I'm doing, I installed extension to my Chrome. It's Marinara Pomodoro Assistant. And you can choose, I'm working like 25 minutes. And after that, I make a short break, 5 minutes. And every second Pomodoro, every fourth tomato, I do a big break of 15 minutes. And of course, I'm not working all the time with this timer, but when I need to do some energy consuming things and when I need really to use my cognition, to use my system number 2, I use this timer. And what it does is you just, let me just a second, let me turn it off. So you just press the button and there are, I already did one, so it's 5-minute break. So I can restart it and start focusing. And I see this timer going, counting down. So it's 25 minutes. And after that, there will be a message that congrats, you finished your Pomodoro. Now let's start 5-minute break. And it's pretty easy to, let's say, read the paper for just 25 minutes. And after that, your monkey can go into social media or you can go check the fridge, and it's pretty easy to control this desire for when you see the deadline. So you see that we do it just for 25 minutes and after that we make a break. 25 minutes may be pretty hard to start with, so I would recommend to start with like even maybe 15 minutes or maybe even 10, because this is a skill that like it took me a couple of months to learn really how to do this, and now my mind can understand that it's 25 minutes and that's all. Also, you can see the history. You can like when I use it. There is no synchronization between devices. So like when I use it on my working computer, then there is one history, and when I use it on my laptop, then it's another history. So here I did like just 3 Pomodoros on Saturday on this laptop, 5 on Wednesday, 3 and 1. And the same you can do on your like every computer that you have.
It's
But there is
really, Ernest, I see it's really dangerous. You can save your history as a CSV export, import. It's also another thing that you can, take your time. And
You can, but first you need to have some data. So I think you have a couple of months to do this easily. So like there is also a phone app. It has a name Forest. So it's also, I think it's free app, and it's the same Pomodoro timer but for your phone. And you press a button and you cannot touch your phone until like you cannot close this app. So if you go to social media for more than 5 seconds, then the plant dies in the app and you cannot do anything with it. And after that, it reminds you that, come on, you made this tree die. It's kind of a kindergarten game, but it really works for the monkey because like she likes these things. So forest app, I can write it in chat also. That where is it? Where is our chat? So it's for where is the chat? Ah, it's here. So it's forest. Okay, let's move further. We will try to finish soon. We have just 7 slides left. So the goal should be specific towards yourself, not against yourself, and it should be in the sphere of your influence. Like to find a job is not, it can be your like your aim, like long-term aim, but it's not your really goal. It's not your task because you don't have really control over it. What you can do, you can create a CV and send it. You can search for postdocs and you can like do everything you can, but you don't make this decision. So just a couple of words. What is the difference between a goal, a task, and a habit with 1B? Because like this thing, like this chaos in my head, I didn't know before what is the difference. And what is similar is that both for the goal, for task, and for habit, we need to know the end results. Like, let's say you want to write a CV, then the CV that is saved on your computer is your final goal. Let's say a task, I will explain it, to take the bottle of water and to drink it. It's a task. The end result is that I'm not thirsty anymore and I drank some, like took some sips of water. And in your habit, you also need to know the end result. Then you ask yourself, how many times do we plan to do this? With a goal, we want to do this just once. Let's say we want to write the CV. You don't really want to write CV every day. You can probably want to renew it once in a couple of months, but right now you want to do this just once. So the goal we achieving one time, and after that we can think about other goal. About the task also, we want to do this just one time right now, and after that we will think about it and we will probably choose another task or do this again. With the habit, we want to do it many times. We want to do it constantly for a long period of time, like for months, years, and probably for all our life. So after that, we ask how many steps are required. I'm sorry, here should be 1. It's my typo. Number of steps for the goal is many. Let's say if we go to create a CV and send it to 10 universities, then Step number one is to make the document or to search for our old CV. After that, you need to, I don't know, to get a list of all the publications that you made in previous years. Maybe you need to download a template of the CV or something. So there are a lot of steps that you really need to do. And if you just tell yourself, let's write a CV, and monkey doesn't know what exactly to do, you will just like watch YouTube or Facebook, or you will go to the fridge and check maybe there are some news in the fridge. With the task, this is the main difference between goal and task. The task has just one step. Let's say just one step without any additional thinking. Let's say I want to take this bottle of water and drink it. I need to like move my hands, take it, open it, drinking, and put it back. But so it's like many steps, but I don't need to think this time. So we consider it as one step because I know how to drink. I know that I have water here. So one step. If you need to drink and you don't have water near you, then it can really become not a task, it can become a goal, because if you don't have water near you and you don't know, like, you need to buy this bottle of water, you're somewhere, or you're like in like with your guests or somewhere else, and you need to think about where to take this water, then it's actually becomes a goal. And with a habit, it's also one step. So if I want to drink water every hour, then it's the same as task, as simple as possible. And we just want to help ourselves remember to do this many times. And also the next question is the whole process of achievement and implementation is clear for me? For goal, it can be yes, no, or partially. For example, you want to write a proposal for the project. You partially know how to do this, but there can be a lot of other things that you don't know right now. That's fine. You just need to know your end results, like how this proposal should look like in the end, more or less. It can be also some like pretty vague, but you should understand only your end result. Because you will use your rational decision maker and he knows how to think. Really, one thing that he knows how to do is to think, and he's very useful only for thinking and for processing of a lot of information. So he will figure it out. But for task and for habit, we need to know exactly what we should do, how we should do, when we should do, and we should know everything. Like if you want to read a paper but you didn't download it yet, then your first task should be search for this paper in the internet. If you don't know where to search it, and if you don't know how much time it will take you, you can set a task, search for a paper for 10 minutes, and after that we make a break. This will be clear for the monkey. And if you don't have a paper yet and you want to read it, then it is not a task. It's really a goal because it has at least two steps. You need to find this paper and you need to read it. Reading can also be pretty, like it can be multitasking, because to read the whole, I don't know, 40 pages paper, for me it's pretty tough, because like if it's not exactly from my field, and if I like English is not my first language, so sometimes I find some new words and I don't understand what do they mean. So really it takes a lot of effort, and I cannot read all the paper and understand it once if it's like pretty long. So it's also a goal which should be divided into smaller tasks. And with habit, we also need to know what to do and how to do. So who is involved with a goal? Involved rational decision maker, because he makes the strategy and he makes a plan. And monkey is involved in tasks and habits. And how to formulate tasks. We talked about the goals. Now let's talk a little bit about the task. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 slides left. So I think we will finish in like 10, 15 minutes. The
Yes.
task, in the task, this is the most, like if you just write this down, and even if you leave this seminar, this is the most important that you should know. It's we are formulating the nearest action for the monkey. Monkey doesn't know about the past. It doesn't know, or she, about the future. It lives only in the present moment. So even if you tell her that we need to do this, this, and that, it will not understand it because like it doesn't have sense of time. It's the same as you tell your dog that let's go for a walk, and after that let's do this, and that. And when your dog hears the word walk, she just loses her mind or its mind, and like it will not understand you. So it will be useless to give the full plan to the monkey. What we need to do, we need to formulate the nearest action. Also, the task should contain the nearest first action to achieve your final goal. So if our goal is to read the paper, then we need to search for it. So we spend 10 minutes searching for the paper. The answer to the question, what needs to be done? You should really, like, it's better, the best is to write it, to start it with a verb, like to read, to search, to spend. So with a verb, like our monkey likes verbs because it's like the easiest way for her to understand. Also, tasks can be completed with a minimum of thinking involved. Like it's easier to really do this than to write this down to the to your plan. So it should be very, very simple. And the task must be quickly doable. So like 30 minutes maximum. That's why I work with this Pomodoro timer. But if you just starting, then even 5 or 10 minutes can be good. And when you get used to it, you just increase your load. I have some friends who are like very productive and they can work with this Pomodoro timer. They work how much? They work 75 minutes without any distraction. And after that, they make 15 minutes break. So they don't go to any social media. They don't check the mail, don't do anything. 75 minutes just working. And after that, doing the break. But it's like, it's pretty tough. You need to learn how to do this. So some examples: to cure your teeth is not a good example of a task because it's not clear to the monkey. But for example, you need to call the dentist Alex to make an appointment for an examination of your teeth. It's pretty clear. If you don't know the phone of Alex, then your task is to, I don't know, call your friend and ask for the phone or search for this phone in the internet. Do more sports. Also, what exactly should I do? Unclear. But go for 15 minutes easy run 2 times during a week. It's pretty easy. And also you should prepare your clothes in advance. If you don't prepare your clothes in advance and you don't know where they are, you are also highly likely to start procrastinating your run because it becomes really a goal. Because the first task is you need to find your clothes. The second, you need to go for a run. Or you want to learn Python. Also learn Python, come on, it's like very vague. You don't know what exactly you should do. You can sign up for a free course on Coursera. There are a lot of free courses, not only in Python, like in a lot of other things. And after that, you can just take 2 30-minute lessons in 1 week. And after that, you will see. You don't say to your monkey that we will do 30 minutes every week, because like it will not understand what every week means. You said that let's try it for 30 minutes 2 times during only this week, and after that we will see. And she says, okay, like 2 times 30 minutes, what can be easier? Let's move to habits. Ivan Pavlov, he was a Russian scientist like almost 100 years ago. He made pretty interesting experiment about conditioned and unconditional and conditional responses. So what he did, he took a dog and when a dog sees meat, then it's unconditioned stimulus, like it's inside of our brain. We know that food is good for us. And this salivation process starts like this. And we can also look and see like here, this saliva, I think it's this called like this in English. So it's like here. And after that, we show neutral stimulus. We ring a bell to the dog and there is no response because it doesn't know, like, okay, it's just a bell. I don't know what does it mean for me. And after that, we start showing the unconditioned stimulus plus our neutral stimulus, like we show food to our dog and we ring a bell to our dog. And after that, we give actually this food to our dog. And because this unconditioned response appears, then subconscious of the dog starts to like to stick together this bell and the meat. And what happens after some time, and also if we go to our slide number 4, we don't know how much time it will take and we don't know how much effort it will take. So we have no idea how much time it will take for this exact dog to make this conditional response. So after some time, after enough time, if we show the bell, if we ring a bell in front of the dog, then the salivation process will start. Like this experiment is almost, I don't know, 100 years old. It's very old. And the thing is that we work the same way. Like we have, it's like the same thing. I used to smoke many years ago, and I remember that like this conditional stimulus, like you drink coffee, you want to smoke, you go out of home, you want to smoke, you go to the bus stop, you want to smoke, there is a break at work or in the university, you want to smoke. And like all these responses are like, it's like conditional responses because you wire some things with another things which are neutral by themselves. But if you do them for a long period of time, then you will like want to do this every time you see this stimulus. So there is also a book, Atomic Habits by James Clear, also recommended. And there is an algorithm of a habit. So we will go to details in the next slide, but there is a trigger. We see this conditional stimulus. After that, there is desire or craving, like the dog wants to eat and the dog's like this salivation process starts and the dog wants to eat. Also, after that, there comes an action. We give the meat to the dog, and after that, there is pleasure. It's like dogs like meat. When they eat meat, they experience pleasure. So there is a trigger, there is desire, there is action, and there is pleasure. And this is the algorithm of the habit. So if we want to develop a habit, then we need to make the trigger obvious. If we want to stop something, we should make the trigger invisible for us. If we want to develop a habit, we need to make a path to our habit easier and simpler. Vice versa, if we want to stop it, like we should make it difficult and long. Also the action, we should make this action easy. And if we want to stop, we should make it difficult and also get pleasure from doing if we want to develop it, and don't get pleasure or get less pleasure if we don't want to do this. And let's consider an example. Also, it's very interesting to know that our body starts to work less efficient, much less efficient, if we lose about 2% of water that we have in our body. But we start to become thirsty, really thirsty, when we have already lost 1.5%. So really our like sense of thirst, it comes pretty late. And if during the day your productivity fails like or not fails, falls dramatically, then most probably you don't drink enough water. And I it helps me really a lot, like just drinking enough of water increases your efficiency of your brain like enormously. And if you drink coffee or if you drink a lot of tea, then tea and coffee, they also kind of absorb like water. So you need to drink a lot of water, about like 2-3 liters per day. And when I was trying to develop a habit to drink more water, like first what I need to do, I need to place the glass directly on the table. That's what I'm doing. During the seminar, I already drank about like 700 milliliters of water. Also, when I see this water and I want to drink, then I need to make this desire very, like, to make the, how I said it, a path to my habits easier and simpler. So everything I need to do is I need just to grab this from the table. So I don't need to go to the kitchen. I don't need to go anywhere else. I just grab it and I drink it. Also, action should be very simple. You shouldn't drink the whole bottle just in one sip. You just drink like small sips, and you can start with 1 glass per day, let's say. Don't start with whole bottle, and don't start with 3 liters. Just like 1 glass should be enough. And also you should drink good water. Don't drink unfiltered water because it may be not so tasty for you. So buy good water. It's like not so expensive. Just spend some, I don't know how it's 10 shekels or maybe even a little bit more for like this 6-pack of water, and it will be pretty delicious for you. And also, if you don't feel enough pleasure from just drinking water, you can give yourself a micro reward. You can eat a candy, or you can say, let's drink water, and after that, let's spend 5 minutes in, I don't know, in Instagram, or let's watch this 10-minute video on YouTube after we drink this glass of water. So it should be small reward. And if we want to spend, let's say, less time in social media, then first we need to put this trigger away. And in my case, trigger is my cell phone and apps on my cell phone. So I put my phone in my bag, or I even sometimes put it in another room when I work in order not to see it at all. If somebody important calls you, you can always call them back. And after these 25 minutes, nothing will happen. Even if somebody calls you, your supervisor, your boss calls you, you can always call him back. Like 25 minutes, it will be pretty easy for this monkey not to use your phone for like half an hour. Also, you need to place your browser icon in a hard to reach folder. So what I have on my phone, I don't know whether you will see it or not. Just a second. Let's do it this way. So when I turn on my screen, here I have just Google Calendar, and I have a task list with all the tasks I need to do. And even if I want to go into Instagram or like any social media, I need to go there. And here I have a lot of folders, and sometimes I mix them in random way, so I don't remember where is the app exactly. So what you need to do is you need to spend more time on searching for this app. Next thing that is good to do is to remove your social media apps from your phone, and you use only the browser. Browser, like user experience in your browser is much worse than in the apps. So you will not only make this action harder, that you need to really write facebook.com or instagram.com, and you sometimes need to log in, because if you use Google Chrome, sometimes it's like logs out. But also you will get less pleasure from it, because user experience is much worse from apps from Google Chrome rather than the apps. And also what you can use to get less pleasure, you can make a commitment for a week. It works fine. We do it sometimes with our friends and with some of my colleagues. You make a commitment and you say that I will try to use social media, let's say, I don't know, 3 hours per week. And in the end of the week, I will send you the screenshot and I will write a post on social media. And because none of us want to really like fail in eyes of our friends, it works a different way between other people. Like for some people it works better, for some people worse. But if it works for you, you can make a commitment, let's say a couple of hours per week. And if you use your phone more, then you write an honest review on yourself that I try to do this and I spend 12 hours in Instagram during this week, and let everyone see it. Also, you can use black and white mode. In Android, you can turn on the, I think it's bedtime mode, and your phone becomes like black and white. And it's a disaster to use Facebook or Instagram, because if you go to, let's go to, I don't know, let's go to Facebook. So first you go to Chrome and you write Facebook, and it takes like enormous amount of time, and the user experience is disgusting. And also everything is black and white, and your monkey is not like so happy, because like there is no fun using Google Chrome and black and white screen. Come on. So it really helps, and you can start with something really simple. There is a small table about how to choose and formulate your habits. Also, you should notice that it's easier to replace a habit rather than to get rid of it. And with me, it happened, for example, with smoking. I used to smoke for about 5 years before, and I tried to stop it for, I don't know, 20 times, and I didn't succeed in it. And after that, I started running. I started running just 5 minutes per day, and after that, I was increasing the load, and after some time I ran half marathon, and after some time I even ran marathon, and after that I ran like 4 marathons. So it took me about half year really to replace it. So I started to run, and I was already running like pretty long runs, like 15 kilometers, sometimes even half marathons. And I used to smoke like even like couple of cigarettes per week. And after that, it just totally replaced it. So we don't know, if we go here, we don't know how much time it will take us, and we don't know how much effort it will take us. So if you want to stop doing something, you really don't know how much time and effort it will take you. It may take you, like some of habits that, like I heard about this Pomodoro timer many years ago, but I really started to use it just this year, because it's like you never know how much time it will take you. And also it's easier to create rather than to replace. Like if you take a look even at education system in different countries, like I like the example of Soviet Union, because in beginning of 20th century there was almost no public schools, and there were no education system like for citizens, widespread citizens, for average citizens in Russian Empire. So like Soviets need to make education system from the scratch, like an education system in Soviet Union in 60s was one of the best in the world, and some people say that it's like it was really the best in the world. But now education system in Russia is not the best in the world. I don't say that it's worse, but it's very, very bad. Like it's like out of time, it's very old, and there is a lot of things that like should be replaced. But because like when we try to work with ourselves, it's just one decision maker and one monkey. But when you work, I don't know, with 100 of people, it's 100 monkeys, and they are at the wheel for 95% of time. And if you take some big companies, or if you take countries, and there are like millions of people who work on this, and it's millions of monkeys, so it's really hard to make any changes to a really big system, because like it's very hard. It's much easier to create something than to replace it. Then it's easier to replace it rather than to get rid of it. But if you want to, I don't know, get rid of smoking in a country, then you will really fail. Like I can say that it's impossible to do it, to get rid of it in a country. You can replace it, or you can create something that will replace it in time. And that what was done in Finland, like they successfully won a war with alcohol, how do you say it, alcoholism. Like there were like almost 40, I think, percent of population were like alcoholics, and they replaced it with a healthy way of life, with sport. They made a lot of facilities for sports, and now almost nobody drinks like a lot of spirits in Finland. So it's a good example. And the thing is that it's the same thing, like whether you work with a country or whether you work with yourself, you always have monkeys and you always have rational decision makers. And monkeys are at the wheel for like 90% of time. So how to choose a habit? It should be simple and easy to learn. So you should not think during the action. If I do warm up, you should write down exact exercises that you are doing, and you should write them on the paper. Or you can use app. I'm using 7 minutes workout app. It's the app is just 7 minutes. So you just can show it here. 7 minutes workouts. So there are even videos in YouTube. So you just write 7 minutes workouts and there is some introduction, conclusion, but the actual training is just 7 minutes. You don't have to think, you just turn on the video, or you can just download the app and you can just do the exercises. This is a good example. Or I write 3 key priority tasks. This is also, I know how to do this, I know what to do, and it's easy for Monkey. Also, it should be easy to implement in an existing schedule. If you want to run in the morning, but you wake up late and you are running to your work, then it's not the best time to start running, really, because it's really a big goal. First, you need to get used to waking up earlier, and after that you can implement your exercises into your schedule. So if you want to start doing sports, you should choose the most comfortable time during the day. When you're not in a rush, when you're not in a hurry, if it will be like 8 o'clock in the evening, it's also absolutely fine. It should be just pretty easy to implement in existing schedule, because changing schedule is really a task, or it can really be a goal. So I do this app in the morning after the shower. I work from home almost all the time, so I'm not in a hurry in the morning. So Monday, Friday, 7 minutes in the morning. The key priority things I write in the evening before going to sleep at 22:15. Also, it should be simple and easy execution for the monkey. So it's how and where. So it's like you should write, it's also a typo, it's where exactly and how to do. So I do my warm-up every day on the same yoga mat in the same living room. So I just place it in my room and I just do this warm-up. And I plan my day in advance at my working table in the diary. I have my diary here, so I just write it here. And also you should help yourself. You should make a trigger that will remind you about doing it, because if you don't remind yourself, you will not even remember it. So what I did, I downloaded an app to my tablet and to my phone, and I set a reminder to my calendar at 8:30. So every morning at 8:30, the app beeps and says, do you have 7 minutes for a workout? And also I set a reminder to Google Calendar to plan my day in advance. So if we go to Google Calendar, then I really it's 22:45, sorry. So at 22:45 to 23:00, I plan tomorrow today 3 growth activities. And this really helps, because if you working or if you do something and you may not even remember about it, because that's a topic of another talk, why we don't remember some things. And the last slide, the vaccines from procrastination. Vaccines are actions that you do once and then they help you for a long period of time. For instance, if you want to use less your phone, here I think I wrote it. I want to improve my sleeping because how do I sleep really affects how do I perform during the day. And if I sleep bad, then I perform really like bad. So what I'm trying to do right now, I try to sleep better. So in order not to use my phone in the evening, I set an automatic timer on my phone from 8 o'clock. So it turns on the silent mode automatically. I don't have to think about it and I don't have to do this. So I don't need to spend any effort. Don't have to spend any energy for it. Also, automatic night mode. There is a thing, there were studies that this, I think it's luminescent or fluorescent lights. So it's these tubes that radiates this light in the labs. That's like the daylight lamps. I'm sorry. They radiate light in the whole spectrum from violet to red, and our brain, when it sees this light in the evening, it thinks that it's day. It's still day. And there are studies that show that using your tablet or your smartphone for 1 hour, 3 hours before going to bed, or 2 hours, don't remember exactly, without the automatic night mode, reduces production of melatonin for 50%. And melatonin is a hormone that is responsible for your sleep. So please use night mode. And it's pretty easy to use just automatic night mode. You can do it in Windows and you can just, where is it? So it's night shift. You can do it in preferences, and I don't see it. So you can just do it in your preferences and you can do it in your phone. Also remove recommendations from YouTube. It's very nice extension. It's also free and it has name remove recommendations. So you can remove recommendations in VK, in Facebook, and in YouTube. So let's turn it off. And now let's turn on the YouTube. And when you go to YouTube, you just see the empty screen right here. So you don't have any recommendations and you will not get distracted by these recommendations. Because what happened all the time that I want to search for a specific video in YouTube, I turn it on and after that my monkey says, oh, can be a funny video. It's just 5 minutes. Let's watch it. And after that, it's another 5 minutes video, another 5 minutes video. After also to drink enough water, please buy a good bottle or shaker. It's also like it's 20 shekels and it saves you a lot of effort because this shaker, I don't really need to open it. Like it's like 1 second, even less than 1 second to open and just a moment to close it. And my monkey likes it. Also, you should you may screw in bulbs with warm light. It's the same as the automatic night mode. And I use like here, it's like 3000 kelvins. It's the light. Also, you can install Momentum extension on your Chrome. So when I open a new tab, I don't see distracting suggestions of any websites. You see only nice picture. Good afternoon, Ernest. You can even write your main focus for today, and it's free. It's free extension. It has name Momentum. So you just download it and you install it on your Chrome, and it works both on Windows and on Mac. So use it all the time, helps me a lot. Also, you can buy thermos to drink herbal tea in the evening. And also I try to, I have my thermos here near me and it really helps you. You don't need to, herbal tea will help you to sleep better at night. And if you need to make tea every cup, then you must probably also start procrastinating it, even like in the evening. So you can just buy a thermos, and I just make 1 liter of herbal tea in the evening with chamomile, let's say, and I just sit and drink it. So it also, you don't need to make any actions. And you can install extension for Chrome, like with Pomodoro Timer. There are different extensions, and Forest app. This is the Forest apps. They focus be present. So it works like that. You can download it for Android and for iPhone. So you turn on this app. I think it's also free. There is a premium version, but there is a free one. So you turn it on and you press a button, and the timer starts. And if you turn it off and if you go to another app, then your plant will just die. And if you plant enough trees, then these guys, they really plant real trees. So planting these virtual trees, when you earn some, let's say, coins in this app, you can press a button and plant a real tree. And these guys will go and plant a real tree, so you can make a world a better place, like they planted almost like 1 million of trees. And also they have an app called Sleep Town. I used to use it before, but now I don't use my phone at all in the evening, but it helped me. So you also turn on the bedtime goal and wake up goal, and you turn on this timer for, let's say, from 11 to 7. And if you take your phone in this period of time, then your building will be destroyed. And in your town that you built, there will be like a mess here. And this gamification, it works not for all the people, but you can try. If it works, like it helped me to use less my phone in the evening. So these apps, and also it's a free app. You can try to use it. If it works, then like it can really help you. So to make a small conclusion, we go to this slide. We have monkey in our head and we have a rational decision maker in our head. The monkey processes enormous amount of information every second. It's 11 millions of bits. And our rational decision maker can process only from 50 to 120 bits per second. And he has the highest salary in our system, because he, like CEO, he earns a lot. We need to spend a lot of energy for it. And everything that he should do and he can do is to think. When we need to think about something, we use this brain. When we need to learn something, we use him. When we need to make a strategy session, then we use him. When we need to do anything else, like we use monkey. And we should use it in a circle, like we think separately and we state tasks in a form that is clear for the monkey, and after that we execute separately. After that we go back to thinking, and after that we go to execution. We cannot do it at the same time. And also there is a thing that these systems, they cannot work for a full power simultaneously. It's like either rational decision maker or the monkey. So that's all for today. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, I will be really glad to hear them. So you can ask them or you can write them. I also have here, it's hello Eric, how are you? It's good to see you. Could you please share your PPT to me? I like it. I'm late. Yes, I will upload this video to YouTube, to my to the channel, and I will just send you the link in the same email. I will ask Shani to send the link, so you will have a record and you can watch it afterwards. Thank you, great talk. Can you please send the recording? Yes, sure. I will send it afterwards. We'll send the link. And also, if you
what's the
yes.
I have a question. What's the app to turn off YouTube recommendations?
It's just a second. It's just remove recommendations. So it's you go to.
Oh, it's not an app. Okay.
It's not an app. It's a Google Chrome extension. So you go to remove recommendations, YouTube Chrome, and you go to Google Chrome extensions store, and there is also this one. I used to use this one, so you can use either of them. So it's remove recommendations. Come on, it's what is it? Spanish? Recommendations. Yeah, so like there are different apps. So there's this one, this one, this one. You can use.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. Also, if you have any, like I spent pretty much time on decomposing the goals into simple tasks. And if you feel that you're struggling with it, you can just send me an email. I will write it here. It's ernst@uzhansky.com, or you can text me. You can find me in the university. So you can just text me and I can help you for free, of course, with we can sit down and we can try to decompose your like goals into simple tasks for your monkey. Any more questions?
Yes, I do. I do have. My question is that can we teach or can we educate the monkey, or do we have to just adapt to the situation, to adapt to who we are, or we have to just, you know, learn how to manage him or her or it, or there's a way to teach the monkey that our fast response would even increase or would develop to a higher level?
The thing is that you can really build relationship between monkey and yourself. It's kind of to build relationship between your brain and your heart. I will name it like that. Let me just, I have a second monitor here, so I will look at you, Akos. I will just grab it here. So what you can actually do, there is a good book. It's by Hungarian psychologist, by
the Sendler Mihai.
Yes.
I searched for that. Yeah, I saw it on your slide. Csikszentmihalyi.
Yes, it's Csikszentmihalyi, and the book is The Flow.
Yeah.
Yes, and he talks about like how to go into state where you can act like kind of your monkey will do exactly what you say by your rational mind. So it's like when you will act really together. So like you have an idea and you do it at the same time. It's like when musicians write their like masterpieces, or when sculptors make their sculptures, or when scientists make their like really some, I don't know, big openings and inventions. It's like you can go into state when you can work simultaneously, but it's like I can say that it's years of practice, and you're practicing really like you just make your rational mind very strong. So like meditation helps a lot. Like it's also, there were medical studies about the meditation and about mindfulness, and it helps to increase your focus, to increase your memory, and to distract less during the day. So like there are medical studies about meditate. I meditate for like almost 2 years every day, try to meditate 2 times per day. And I just pay attention on my breathing. So like nothing special, no magic. You just sit and you just look at your breathing, and it really helps.
Okay, thank you.
Moshe's got a go. Okay, thanks for a seminar. And Mordechai, this was great. Thanks. You're welcome. I'm glad if it was interesting, if you got any pleasure watching, and if you learned something new, because I really I use it every single day, and it helps me really a lot. So if there are any more questions, please ask. If it was interesting, we can go deeper, let's say, into how our memory works next time, or we can go into this flow thing, how to go into this flow, how to like build relationship really between this monkey and our rational decision maker. So we can try to do this. So thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, then it's ernestuzhansky.com. .com, come on. I'm sorry. It's ernestuzhansky@gmail.com. I don't know why I wrote it like that. So it's ernestuzhansky@gmail.com. So this is my email.
You went ahead in time. You went ahead in time. You were already thinking of when you already have your own website, and then.
Oh, I have it actually. Like I have it, but it's in Russian, so it's really ernestuzhansky.com. So we work with a group actually right now. We have a group right now. There are like about 12 people, and we are on practice learn how to like decompose these goals into tasks, how to do like small portions of work, and after that make a break. But Russian is my mother tongue, so it's much easier for me to do this. But also, if somebody is interested to try it in a group, then it really helps. Like working in a group really helps you to distract less, because we're social animals, and if you just work, I can say it like me and Akash, we were running half marathon together, and Akash said that it was much easier to run together than to run alone, right? So going together is
Absolutely, yes,
is always easier. So if you're interested to try, also just text me and you can join. We can do it in a group too. So thank you very much for your attention. See you next time. I will send you the recording soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.